Meet David. At 30, David's career felt like a rocket launch. Every 2 years, he saw a 15% bump. He was the high potential guy, the one the partners kept an eye on. By 35, he hit the six-figure mark. He bought the house, started the family, and assumed the trajectory was permanent. If he just kept working this hard, the math said he'd be a millionaire by 50. But then, David hit 45, and the rocket engine just cut out. For the last 3 years, David's raises haven't even cleared the rate of inflation. He's more experienced than ever, he manages more people than ever, and he's arguably at his intellectual peak. Yet when he asked for a promotion last quarter, he was told he was vital where he is. What David doesn't realize is that he's fallen into a statistical trap. According to the Federal Reserve and pay scale, David hasn't just slowed down, he's likely reached his peak earnings. For the average American worker, the elevator stops at age 45. David didn't lose his edge. He didn't stop working hard. So why did the market decide he was suddenly worth exactly the same as last year? Today, we're looking at the cold, hard data of the 45-year-old ceiling and why your greatest professional asset, your experience, might actually be the thing holding your salary hostage. It's easy to dismiss David's story as a one-off case of bad luck or a lack of ambition, but the macroeconomic data suggests he's actually the rule, not the exception. When we look at the inverted U-curve of lifetime earnings, the peak is shockingly consistent. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the age bracket of 45 to 54 typically represents the highest absolute earnings of a worker's life. On paper, that sounds like a victory, but if you look closer at the slope, the growth between your 35th and 45th birthday is a steep mountain, while the growth after 45 is a flat, desolate mesa. For college-educated women, the plateau often begins as early as age 44, while men hit their ceiling around 55. The reality check is this. From age 22 to 35, you are paid for your potential. Employers are betting on what you will become. But by 45, the market has decided you have arrived. You are no longer an investment. You are a fixed cost. At this stage, your salary stops being a reflection of your growth and starts being a reflection of your replacement value. The data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York shows that if you haven't secured a massive leap in income by your mid-40s, the statistical likelihood of doing so in your 50s drops by over 70%. You aren't just slowing down, you are hitting a structural ceiling designed by the economy itself. Think of your career like a smartphone. When it's brand new, it's fast, compatible with every new app, and everyone wants the latest model. But after a few years, the hardware starts to struggle with the new software. In economics, this is called human capital depreciation. Early in your career, you are a sponge. You're learning the newest tools, and your value grows fast because you're cheap and adaptable. But by age 45, the race changes. The skills that made you successful 10 years ago are now considered standard, or worse, obsolete. Data from the Journal of Human Resources suggests a crossover point at mid-career. This is where the value of your experience, what you know, starts being canceled out by the decay of your technical skills. At 25, you were paid for your potential to learn. At 45, you're often paid for your utility, your ability to keep things running. Unless you've shifted from doing the work to directing the work, you become a legacy system. You're still reliable, but the market stops offering you a premium because it can find a 30-year-old who knows the new tools for 30% less pay. If the first half of your career is about offense, the second half, starting around age 45, usually shifts to defense. In your 20s and 30s, the job hop is your most powerful weapon for a 20% raise. But by 45, the math changes, and the cost of moving becomes a heavy anchor. Data from the ADP Research Institute shows that wage growth is highest for job switchers, yet the rate of switching drops off a cliff after age 45. Why? Because at this stage, you aren't just an employee, you're a stakeholder in a complex life. You likely have a fixed housing cost and children in specific school districts. Moving for a $20,000 raise is no longer a simple pack your bags decision. It's a family crisis. By 45, you've accumulated years of 401k matching, specific health insurance plans, and perhaps most importantly, institutional social capital. You know who to call to get things done. At 25, if a new startup fails, you sleep on a couch and try again. At 45, if a new job doesn't work out, you're looking at a catastrophic gap in your peak earning years. This stability trap means that many 45-year-olds stop testing the market. When you stop interviewing, you lose your pulse on what you're actually worth. Your current employer knows this. They know you're unlikely to leave over a 3% raise versus a 5% raise, so they stop competing for you. You aren't being paid what you're worth. You're being paid just enough to keep you from the hassle of leaving.
By age 45, you've hit a strange paradox. You are the most capable person in the room, but you are also the most expensive. This leads to what data from ADP and the BLS suggests is a price ceiling on your career. It's rarely about someone telling you you're too old. Instead, it shows up in subtler ways. The overqualified label. When you're 45, a recruiter doesn't just see your skills, they see your price tag. Companies often realize they can hire two 25-year-olds for the price of one veteran. Even if you're twice as good, the budget often wins. The culture fit excuse. Research shows that culture fit is often code for youthful energy. Companies look for digital natives, a term that subtly pushes mid-career professionals to the side, assuming they won't keep up with new tech as fast. The lack of runway. If a company hires a 30-year-old, they expect 30 years of work. If they hire or promote a 45-year-old, the return on investment feels shorter to them. In short, you aren't being pushed out because you can't do the job. You're being priced out because the market starts viewing your experience as a cost to be managed, rather than an asset to grow.
The hard truth is that for every David who successfully pivots, thousands of others will remain stuck exactly where they are. While the pivots sound great in theory, the reality is that the plateau isn't just a hurdle, it's a dead end for the vast majority. Data from the Federal Reserve and Pay Scale shows that most workers never actually break through because the structural forces are simply too strong. By 45, the golden handcuffs are usually locked tight. Between a mortgage, kids' tuition, and the need for stable health insurance, most people can't afford the massive risk of switching industries or moving to a commission-based role. They are forced to prioritize survival over growth, effectively trading their potential for a steady, stagnating paycheck. The honest truth is that for every person who managed to beat the system, thousands more stay exactly where they are. While those pivots we talked about sound good, the reality is that this plateau isn't just a bump in the road. For most people, it's a dead end. Most workers never actually break through because the world around them is built to keep them in place. You probably can't afford to take a massive risk on a new career or a commission-based job. Most people end up choosing survival over growth, trading their future potential for a steady paycheck that just doesn't grow anymore. This creates an invisible wall where your experience actually makes you harder to hire. You're too expensive to be a trainee, but the market thinks you're too out of date to lead the next big thing. Most people won't get past this plateau because they are stuck protecting what they already have, while the economy moves on to cheaper, younger options. For the average worker, 45 isn't the halfway point of the race. It's the finish line. If you liked the video, please subscribe and let us know in the comments what are your experiences with the plateau at 45 phenomena.